person who was a thug, who stole land right, left, and center, who was suspect of murder and so many things. Yeah, and then we say he succeeded by bringing a country to success. That is a very bad story that I don't want to give, and therefore I'm telling God to remember Kenya,
So
because we
how
cannot
do you
give
want
a
God to
story.
remember
We,
Kenya?
we, 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 we cannot tell people over our children that ati tunaambia watoto ati crime pays in Kenya. You can be a criminal and become a president. That is not what we want. We don't want to
I
give those
get you.
stories. We want this guy to fail so that we give him as an example to the generations coming that this is not what to become. This is not how to become president.
Mm-hmm.
So it is as simple as that. So since we are not missing our words, we are saying we have a cruel government with cruel leaders and
Mm-hmm.
cruelest leaders. That is what we are saying. Yes.
Wait a minute. I can see Alex is saying something that e-citizen portal is a scam. PesaFlow is the company that collects a flat rate of 50 Kenyan shillings, and for every transaction. IT shrouded in mastery. Yeah, these are concern that I once had. I think it was Senator Sifuna questioning this. Whenever you make any transaction at the e-citizen, the company called PesaFlow is the one that collects that money, and it is the one that I think is mandated to remit the money collected to the government. So they will always charge you a flat rate of 50. If you want to pay 5,500, then you'll have to pay 5,550. But nobody gives us maybe nobody accounts for this money. Nobody tells us where this money goes, how it is used, and such kind of things. It is even expensive than the percentage that M-Pesa collects when you do some transactions. So maybe the first thing that people should be asking, or people should need to investigate, are the owners of these companies that are going to be used to collect this money. So when the government says they want to collect school fee through e-citizen, Mr. Secretary General, if maybe now we leave the story of the president and his reputation aside, this money in most schools, the money that is collected is used in the daily activities like buying food and paying for the stationery and some other voted. So do you think the government will be able to remit this money to schools in time and remit it fully and be fully accountable that all the students have paid fee, we now remit fee this amount? Or we are going to have cases whereby schools are going to have children striking because there is no food, children are striking because they're supposed to go on a trip and the money has not been remitted, they cannot be able to fuel their buses? Is that one the reason that you think maybe most Kenyans are not happy with the decision?
Every school has its own arrangements on how they operate. And if the teacher and the headmasters and the principals have agreed on some way of dealing with their issues, that's what it should be left. Hii mambo ya kupatia watu ambao hawajui hata kutafuta nchi ya kuongoza nchi pesa. It is funny. The case of Kenya Kwanza is a case of where you go and study to be a veterinary. Hmm? When you study to be a veterinary, then you target where there are so many farmers of goats and cattle and all those animals, and then go there because there's an election and you are being elected. Because of the only thing that you have is you have a degree or you have a certificate of veterinary, but you don't have cows and you don't have goats, you don't have anything. That is what happens with the Ruto is not exposed. Ruto is a man who want to lead people who have achieved. In other words, he want to tax you because he doesn't know how to grow a tax. Because he has studied and he has a PhD. He's the most educated president in Africa. So you cannot beat him on that. He's again also the most what we call politician and a very sweet talking person. But when you ask him, how do you grow a company? How do you make manufacturing? He doesn't know. And that is why you see he's so clueless. He's telling us about building houses and solving the problems of employment. And so He's a person, I'll take like a person who is the chairman of a cattle dip, the chairman of farmers, but he owns no cow. He owns no goats.